Some schools have stairwells where the steps change after dark. They're supposed to have 12, but people say if you count them out loud, you might find a 13th. And it never stops there. Some stories don't end. They wait. And sometimes they're still watching. Let me tell you what happened. He didn't want to stay late, but the teachers had picked him for cleanup duty after the festival, and everyone else ran home before the storm hit. By the time he finished sweeping confetti off the 3rd floor, the building was empty. Not just quiet, empty in that specific way schools get after dark, when the building finally exhales. The rain outside was light at first, then it wasn't. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied. He told himself everything was fine. He just had to get to the 1st floor, down the stairs, the old south stairwell, the one people joke about, the one the seniors say is cursed, the one with only 12 steps. Unless you're alone. Unless you hear someone behind you. The stairwell smelled like wet concrete. He hesitated at the top, listening to the storm rumbling outside. His phone was at 3%. No flashlight. Perfect. He set his foot on the 1st step. 1. His whisper echoed. Too loud. He told himself not to count out loud. That was the rule, right? He took another step. 2. Another echo. Sharper this time, almost like something whispered back. 2. He swallowed, tried to laugh, and kept going. 3, 4, 5. At the 5th step, the air suddenly dropped. The hairs on his arms lifted like static crawling across the skin. 6. Thump. A sound behind him, but not the echo of his foot. Something else stepped onto the 1st step. Slow. Heavy. He didn't turn around. 7. Behind him. 6. Whispered. Too soft to be human. Too close to be safe. He moved faster. 8, 9, 7. His throat tightened. 10. A soft shuffle. 11. Something wet dripped onto the back of his neck. 12. The bottom landing was right there, just a few more feet. He lifted his foot to step down and found another step under it. 13. His heart slammed against his ribs. His lungs forgot how to breathe. There were only supposed to be 12. Unless he wasn't alone. Behind him came a sound. 12. The voice wasn't behind him on the stairs. Not at the top. It was right at his shoulder. The smell came next, like wet fabric left a long time in a locker. Like a breath passed through water. He tried to move forward. His foot barely lifted. 11. Something brushed the back of his calf. Not a hand. Something colder, clammy, patient. Lightning cracked outside. For a fraction of a second, the stairwell lit up. Just enough time for him to see it. A shadow standing 1 step behind him. Tall, human-shaped, but wrong. Its head didn't tilt the way a head should. He ran. He ran until his lungs burned, until the storm outside swallowed every other sound. But even outside, on the pavement, in the rain, he heard it again. The same wet step. 2. He turned around. There was no staircase, just flat ground. But his foot hovered over something that wasn't there. An invisible drop. An invisible step. He looked down, his toes pressed against air, as if something solid should have been there. And below him, too close, too tall. The shadow raised its head. 13. That was the last number he ever reached, because the 13th step doesn't stay in schools. Once you feel it, the staircase doesn't stay behind. It follows you home. I'll see you next time. Try to get some sleep.